Welcome to Before AGI Weekly, your essential AI news digest. Today, we're doing a deep dive into some really significant AI developments, stuff from late July, early August 2025. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Our mission, like always, is to take all these breakthroughs, these trends, these innovations, and kind of synthesize them into clear insights for you. We want to show you where AI is actually heading, balancing the techie details with the practical value. So whether you're deep in the tech world or just really curious, you'll get something useful. Because honestly, the amount of news right now, groundbreaking models, huge investments, new regulations actually kicking in, it's a lot.
It really is.
Yeah.
A lot. And what's becoming super clear is that this isn't just, small steps forward. We're looking at a truly pivotal moment, I think. We're seeing this definite shift, like different kinds of model architectures popping up, and actual enforcement of regulations is starting. That's new. Plus, the geopolitical competition, it's really heating up. That's going to shape things for years. Oh, and AI for science, accelerating like crazy. And the money, the sheer amount of investment going into AI now basically makes it critical infrastructure. It's unlike anything we've seen before.
Okay, yeah, a lot to unpack there. Let's jump right in. Maybe start with the models themselves, because it feels like the field is challenging its own foundational ideas. The transformer architecture, right, has been king for years, dominated everything. But now, it seems like it's finally getting some serious challengers.
Absolutely. And one of the really striking ones is Kronos-SSM. Came out of Stanford AI lab. This isn't just a small tweak. It's a totally new architecture, a state space model, or SSM. It changes fundamentally how AI processes long sequences of information. Its big advantage, linear computational cost, scales like ON.
Okay, linear cost. What does that mean in plain English?
Right, think of it like this. Double the data you feed it. The processing time only roughly doubles. Compare that to transformers. They scale quadratically, R1-2. So double the data for a transformer, and the processing time could quadruple, or worse, for really long stuff.
Ah, okay. So much more efficient for long sequences.
Exactly. We're talking potentially 10x or even greater improvements in cost performance. Think about processing huge legal documents, massive scientific papers, complex genomic data. This could really lower the barrier to entry, Make powerful AI more accessible if the compute cost drops that much.
Wow. A 10x improvement. That's huge. But here's where it gets really interesting, for me anyway. It shows how big this shift might be. Microsoft isn't just reading the research paper. They're actually building a chip for it. Yeah, Microsoft's Athena AI chip, they just announced it, their third-gen custom AI accelerator. And the key thing, they specifically said it's co-designed to be optimized for non-transformer architectures. Mention state space models by name.
Exactly. And that signals something really important strategically. It's this move towards vertical integration, owning the whole stack.
From the silicon all the way up to the cloud services.
Precisely. It's not just about building the best model anymore. It's about controlling the entire pipeline. Athena isn't just a way to save money on NVIDIA GPUs, though it helps with their massive bills there. It's more like a declaration of independence in this AI arms race.
Giving them more control, more optimization.
Total control. And it really intensifies the chip war, creates new dynamics. It means the future of AI dominance isn't just software. It's deeply tied to the hardware underneath.
Okay, so new architectures, new chips, exciting stuff. But what about the big names, the established players? OpenAI, for instance. They didn't exactly stay quiet during this period, did they? Any surprises from them?
Oh, definitely not quiet. They made a huge splash, officially launching GPT-5 in August, and that looks like a really significant step up.
Right.
What's interesting is how it seems to unify the powerful reasoning abilities they developed in their specialized O-series models.
Right, those models trained for specific complex tasks like maths.
Exactly. It merges that with the strong multimodal capabilities we saw in GPT-4o, early benchmarks. Pretty impressive. Hitting the 95th percentile on mathematical reasoning tasks, that's a big jump, plus massive context windows. Up to 1 million tokens for input, 100,000 for output.
Wow.
But the biggest surprise, strategically, they also released an open-weight language model, something similar to their O3 micro model, put it out on Azure and Hugging Face.
Really? OpenAI releasing an open-weight model, that is a shift.
It is, their first one since GPT-2, way back. So yeah, a significant pivot for them.
Okay, that's huge from OpenAI. Meanwhile, halfway across the world, something really fascinating came out of China, showing that, innovation can happen anywhere, even under, serious pressure.
You're talking about DeepSeek R1, and Yeah, this is a compelling story. What's remarkable is that it achieved performance comparable to OpenAI's O1 model.
Despite the U.S. chip sanctions.
Exactly. Despite operating under those sanctions, they used a really unique approach. Pure reinforcement learning, no supervised fine-tuning. And somehow this allowed the model to naturally develop sophisticated reasoning behaviors, things like self-verification, reflection, extended chain of thought,
All on lower-grade chips.
all using lower-grade semiconductors that they could access. It's a breakthrough that really challenges assumptions about, well, how effective those semiconductor export controls actually are. And it just shows how constraints can sometimes drive really novel innovation. Ingenuity finds a way, you know?
It really does. So we've got the big players pushing boundaries and even breakthroughs happening under constraints, but it also feels like the OpenAI movement, the open source spirit, is really thriving beyond just one or two companies. It feels broader now. What are the advantages there compared to the more closed proprietary approaches?
That's a great point. Transparency is a huge one. Community collaboration. And a prime example is the Helios Consortium. It's a group of European research institutions. They just released Helios 130B. It's a 130 billion parameter model, and it's multilingual, trained on over 40 languages.
Okay, big and multilingual, but what makes it stand out?
The transparency, it's kind of unprecedented. They didn't just release the model weights, they released the complete training data set, fully documented. And they included this detailed datasheet ++ wrote. Think of it like a really thorough nutrition label for the model. It includes carbon footprint calculations, detailed bias evaluations, everything.
Wow, that's accountability.
Right. The goal is to promote digital equity, push for a more scientific, reproducible, and ultimately, responsible way to build these massive models. It sets a new kind of voluntary standard for the whole industry, really.
That level of openness is definitely needed. And speaking of open source and multilingual, Mistral AI had a big release too, right? But in the speech domain.
Yes, Mistral's Voxtral. It's actually a family of open source speech understanding models. There's a 24 billion parameter one, Voxtral Small, and a smaller 3 billion parameter Voxtral Mini. They can transcribe audio up to 30 minutes. But crucially, they can understand up to 40 minutes.
Understand, so more than just transcription.
Yeah, like Q&A on the audio, summarizing it, even triggering actions based on what was said, function calling, directly from speech. And Mistral claims Voxtral Small gets state-of-the-art transcription accuracy, but at roughly half the API cost of competitors.
So open source and top performance at lower cost.
Exactly. It kind of breaks that old trade-off,
Yeah.
Shows open source can absolutely compete, even lead in these specialized areas.
Okay, so we've covered some really groundbreaking stuff in how AI models are being built. New brains, basically. But for a lot of listeners, the question is always, okay, cool tech, but what does it do? How is this actually reshaping things out in the real world right now?
Right. And that's where you see this technology hitting the ground. Especially in science and industry, it's pretty incredible. Take Google DeepMind's GrapheneForge. This is a generative AI model, but it designs new materials. Specifically, it designs and predicts the properties of novel, stable, two-dimensional materials, like graphene, but new types.
Okay, designing materials, how effective is it?
Get this. It generated over 2.4 million potential material structures.
2.4 million.
And predicted their stability and properties. A task that, if done manually by human researchers, would literally take millennia.
That's hard to even comprehend.
Yeah.
The millennia of research done by AI?
It's mind-blowing. A few years ago, this was pure sci-fi, just a dream for materials scientists. So this is a huge leap for AI for science. It's moving beyond biology, like AlphaFold, into materials engineering. The potential impact. Accelerating development of next-gen semiconductors, better batteries, more efficient solar cells, even components for quantum computers. It's huge.
It really does feel like sci-fi becoming reality.
Yeah.
And speaking of things that sound like they're from the future, AI-designed drugs are actually entering human trials now. That feels like a massive step, from computer model to actual medicine being tested in people.
It is genuinely a historic milestone, a real inflection point for medicine. Isomorphic Labs, which is Google DeepMind's spinoff focused on drug discovery. They're preparing for the first human clinical trials of drugs designed by AI.
And this builds on AlphaFold.
Directly. Built on the insights from AlphaFold's protein structure predictions. Now, if these trials are successful, and that's still an if, of course, but they could dramatically improve the current success rate for drugs entering clinical trials. Right now, it's dismal, like maybe 10%.
only 10% make it through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So improving that would mean faster drug development, lower costs, and crucially, more targeted, more effective therapies, especially for really complex diseases like many types of cancer. It's a huge testament to AI's potential to just revolutionize the whole pharmaceutical industry and ultimately, human health.
Okay, this progress is amazing, but it's not happening in, like, a quiet lab somewhere, right? It
Yeah.
feels like it's fueled by this intense competition, a war for talent, people call it, and just mind-boggling amounts of money.
Oh, mind-boggling is an understatement. Look at Murati's Thinking Machines Lab. She's the former OpenAI CTO. Her new venture just closed a seed round. A seed round.
How much?
$2 billion at a $12 billion valuation.
$2 billion for a seed round?
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
It is. Largest seed funding in VC history, led by Andreessen Horowitz. And get this. Apparently, nearly 2/3 of her workforce are former OpenAI employees. It just shows this incredible confidence, maybe even frenzy, around AI talent mobility. Top AI talent can basically name their price, and investors are throwing unbelievable sums to back the right people.
Right. And speaking of bold bets and maybe poaching talent, Meta seems to be going absolutely all in.
That's right. Meta launched Superintelligence Labs, and it really feels like their boldest AI bet yet. They've planned something like a $60 billion investment through 2025.
$60 billion.
Billion. And they're reportedly offering compensation packages reaching well into the 8-figure range.
8 figures.
Yeah.
Just wow, to attract the top talent.
Exactly. It's led by Alexander Wang. And the goal isn't just building the next Llama model beyond 4 and 5. They're aiming to develop autonomous AI engineers, models that can actually code, debug, develop software themselves.
AI building AI, essentially.
Pretty much. It's Meta's super aggressive response in this war for AI talent. They want to secure a leading position by creating AI that can improve itself.
So these massive company investments are one thing, but it feels like it's scaling up even beyond that. Like, entire nations are making huge infrastructure commitments specifically for AI. What does that tell us?
It tells us AI is fundamentally shifting. It's moving from just being a cutting-edge tech to becoming critical infrastructure, like the power grid or water systems, essential. There was a recent summit in Pennsylvania. Major U.S. companies collectively pledged nearly $90 billion in AI infrastructure and related energy projects.
$90 billion, just like that.
Well, pledged. But yeah, Google's putting $25 billion into new data centers. Blackstone, the investment firm, $25 billion for data centers and grid upgrades to power them. And Meta, they've talked about spending hundreds of billions on AI data centers over the next few years. These aren't just small upgrades. This is accelerating AI deployment capacity on a massive scale. It shows AI is becoming as capital-intensive as traditional utilities, reinforcing its role as truly essential national infrastructure.
Okay, so AI is accelerating, it's becoming infrastructure, which naturally leads to the question of governing it, right? And it seems like the EU, like they often do with tech regulation, is really setting the pace globally here.
That's right. The big change now is EU AI Act enforcement. It's not just talk anymore. The new European AI board just issued its first legally binding guidance for what they call high-risk AI systems. And this forces companies into a compliance-by-design approach. You have to build compliance in from the start.
And this applies to the big models, too.
Yes, critically. As of August 2nd, 2025, key parts of the act became enforceable for general-purpose AI models, specifically ones trained with over 10 to the power of 23 FLOPs, which is an absolutely enormous amount of computation.
Like the really big foundation models.
Exactly. Providers of those models now have to be transparent about their training data, about copyright usage. This is the first really comprehensive AI law globally. And given the EU's track record, the Brussels effect, it's likely to become the sort of de facto international standard.
Okay, so the EU is going with strict rules, compliance first.
Yeah.
But across the Atlantic, the U.S. seems to have a very different idea.
Very different philosophy, yes. The Trump administration unveiled America's AI Action Plan. It outlines about 90 policy actions, but the focus is crystal clear. Accelerate innovation, build AI infrastructure, lead international diplomacy, and it's all framed around winning the AI race.
So less regulation, more speed.
Much more emphasis on market-driven growth, light governance. It explicitly favors open-source models, minimal federal restrictions. It's positioned directly against the EU's regulatory approach and also aimed at countering China's growing AI capabilities. A real ideological split.
And speaking of China, they're not just reacting, right? They seem to be pushing their own vision for global AI governance.
Yes. A very different vision again. Chinese Premier Li Kang announced plans for a new international AI cooperation organization. This is at the World AI Conference in Shanghai. He urged for a global AI framework fast, and he positioned China as the champion of open, shared AI development, even framing AI as an international public good, especially for the global south.
Interesting. So more state-led, multilateral.
Exactly. It challenges the current setup by pushing for a state-led cooperative approach. Very different from the U.S. free market focus or the EU's rule-based system. It's a third distinct path emerging.
Okay, so we have all this incredible progress, massive investment, these competing global strategies for regulation and innovation. But amidst all the excitement, there's a serious underlying worry, isn't there,
Ugh.
about moving too fast?
There is. And it raises the question, are the safeguards keeping up? The IBM report on AI breaches, which came out July 30th, highlights something pretty alarming. It basically found that AI adoption is massively outpacing AI security and governance.
How bad is it?
Well, 13% of the organizations they surveyed reported experiencing AI-related breaches, which is significant already. But here's the really scary part. 97% of those companies that had breaches had no AI-specific access controls in place.
97%. Wow. So basically everyone who got breached wasn't prepared?
Pretty much. It points to this huge governance gap.
Yeah.
And it underscores that AI models themselves, they're a new attack vector now, a critical part of cybersecurity. As AI gets everywhere, the potential surface for attacks just explodes, making security absolutely paramount.
Okay, that's a sobering thought to end on. So bringing it all together, what does this whirlwind tour mean for us, for you listening, trying to stay informed in this crazy landscape? What are the big takeaways?
Yeah, looking back at these couple of weeks, a few key shifts really stand out. First, just acceleration and diversification. Things are moving faster, but also branching out. AI for science, custom hardware, actual regulation kicking in. And the focus is broadening beyond just bigger models to things like efficiency and transparency. Second, vertical integration and the chip wars. That's becoming a huge competitive frontier. Cloud providers building custom stacks to control cost and performance. Expect locked-in ecosystems. Third, this regulatory bifurcation and the coming compliance crunch. The EU's enforcement creates a split global environment compared to the US and China, and we're definitely going to see a big AI compliance industry boom.
Right, dealing with all those new rules.
Exactly. Fourth, the open source movement is incredibly vibrant. Models like DeepSeek R1, Helios, Voxtral show it's seriously challenging proprietary systems, democratizing access, and setting new standards for openness. And finally, AI is now critical infrastructure. Those massive investment pledges confirm it. It's foundational, like utilities.
And looking just a bit further ahead, these developments hint at some potentially huge inflection points, don't they? Like maybe the end of transformer monoculture. If things like Kronos-SSM really take off, we could see a whole explosion of new model designs.
Definitely possible. A Cambrian explosion for AI architectures.
And the compliance crunch you mentioned. Those EU deadlines in 2026, they could fundamentally change how AI products are built and sold everywhere.
It will force major changes, yes.
Then there's the hardware-software flywheel. Chips like Athena, tightly co-designed with new models, that could create really powerful locked-in ecosystems. Hard for others to compete with.
A significant competitive advantage, potentially.
And maybe further out, technical convergence, like quantum computing finally integrating meaningfully with AI. That could unlock totally new capabilities in, say, 5–10 years.
That's the hope. Breakthrough capabilities are definitely plausible on that time scale. This whole deep dive, it doesn't just show rapid innovation, it shows this global ecosystem actively trying to define its own future. It's trying to balance incredible speed with safety, intense competition with collaboration. And the real, maybe provocative question this all raises is, how will these diverging national strategies, the EU's rules, the US's push for speed, China's cooperative vision, and these different technological paths, how will they ultimately converge? Or will they conflict? And how will that shape the future of AI development for everyone?
Wow, what a couple of weeks in AI, seriously. We've covered so much new AI brains, life-changing science, the multi-billion-dollar global chess game. We really hope this deep dive gave you some clear, actionable insights into where AI is heading right now. Helped you make sense of it all. If you found this valuable, definitely hit that subscribe button. Catch all our essential AI news digests. And hey, if you want more in-depth tutorials, more insights into how this tech actually works, breaking down the complex stuff, be sure to visit Ian Ochieng AI on YouTube. That's O-C-H-I-E-N-G. Ian Ochieng AI. We're always there. trying to break down the next big thing in AI for you. Until our next deep dive, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring this incredible world of artificial intelligence.